hit that notification button. Don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD89 VA Claims Consulting, United States Army veteran, and retired VA rating specialist. This evening, I am going to answer your questions as it pertains to the VA disability compensation claims process. But before I get into today's video, got a couple of announcements. One, I want to thank everyone that has purchased my new book. If not, I've added a link in the comment section so you can go out and purchase your signed copy. So if you use that link and you purchase my book, I'll send you a signed copy. Also, I would like to thank everyone that attended the live free virtual event last week on how to win your VA claim. Okay, we had hundreds of about 500 people that signed up, but everybody didn't show up. So the individuals that actually showed up are getting a lot of feedback from it. So if you missed it, don't worry. Myself and my team, we are going to edit it, and you can go out and purchase it for a small fee and watch the entire week. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into the Q&A. So I want to leave ample time. I may not get to everybody's questions. This is only an hour. We're going to go through and answer as many questions as I can. Oh, and also, I'm going live tomorrow night with a special guest. It's going to be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are going to be discussing VA home loans, unlocking VA home loans criteria, and how the your VA compensation claim or VA compensation can play a role in getting your VA home loan, certificate eligibility, and so forth. So I got a special guest that's a subject matter expert in that area. So I'll be live tomorrow night. If you subscribe to the channel, you should have already gotten a notification. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this Q&A. Don West. Good evening, Mr. West. What is the function of a CMP examiner? To complete a DBQ and or Nexus statement. Explain why your claim will be denied or evaluated severity of disability. I deem mine inadequate exam based on first narrative. There's no way that I would know that, Mr. West, without looking at the CMP exam itself and the rating decision. The CMP examiner completes the CMP exam, which is the DBQ, and then the VA rater completes the rating decision. So there's two separate documents. So someone would have to look at those two separate documents to answer your question. There's no way that I would know why your claim would be denied or evaluated or denied without looking at that information. Thanks, KMD89. All you do for us vets, you're welcome. It's my passion to educate veterans on this process, thus the new book. Okay, I'm getting a lot of feedback, but let me know in the comment section if you have purchased the book and read it, and what do you think about it? Okay, so leave a response. And if you bought it on Amazon, make sure you go to Amazon and leave a review so other veterans can see what you thought about the book. Okay, I appreciate everything you do. We appreciate you, KMD, to support fellow veterans. Fellow veterans, not a problem. Like I said, I got a passion for doing this, putting out these videos. I'm constantly thinking of, new topics to talk about. And I got a vision board over here. And I'm like, man, I need to do a video on this. I need to do a video on that. And it just seemed like it's not enough time in the day. But I do have some time dedicated during the week to go ahead and record new videos on different topics. M&M vet, I'm currently service connected for PTSD and 50%. Hearing loss, 10%. Tinnitus, 10%. Recently granted service connection for migraines, but at 0%. My VOCO said I can't appeal the 0%. I have 2 file higher rating claim. What are your thoughts? Your VSO, when I'm about to explain to you, I'm curious as to why the VSO didn't explain this to you. How you going to do a high level review if you don't have your VA claims folder? On the CMP exam that you went to for the migraines, does the information in that CMP exam meets the criteria for 10%, 30%, or 50% for migraines? If it doesn't, how are you going to win that on a high level review? If there's no evidence in the claims file at the time the rater adjudicated the claim that shows you meet that criteria, how are you going to win that on high level review? And do you know the criteria for the 10, 30, and 50%? You can find it in the rating decision. You can Google diagnostic code 8100. And why not file an increase if you meet that criteria? I'm just saying. So if the VSO didn't explain that to you, that might throw some red flags. Okay. That's an easy one. All right, I'm disabled vet, right knee and left shoulder service connected, other diagnosed disabilities, back, hips, left knee, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, and mental health. I'm assuming the MH stands for mental health. I'm in Tampa, and my VSO suck with no help. I haven't talked about this topic of VSOs. I've been getting a lot of feedback here recently, meaning this year, a lot of veterans having negative experiences with certain VSOs. Not all of them, but with certain ones. Everything from they're not picking up the phone, they're not writing down on the claim form what I'm talking about or what I want to claim, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I've done videos on did I have representation and why? Okay. I still had full control of my claim. This is something that you can do yourself. We offer several educational videos. I was talking to a vet today. He was like, Dwayne, I got my 100% just by watching your videos. And today was the first time we ever talked on the phone. And I've had other veterans tell me that. So between the book and these videos, you can do it yourself. But if you get stuck, you're unclear, and you just need that additional education, then KMD 89 here is to educate you, okay? But it's up to you if you want to get a VSO or a lawyer. Talked to another vet today. He said, oh, just get a lawyer. I'm like, why? What is your reason for getting a lawyer? Because as a rater, I got information from veterans that the congressperson wrote. And I still denied the claim because it didn't meet the VA guidelines. I had to, I could have, but if the quality department pulled it, I get an error, get so many of them, they're going to fire you. Okay. So I had guidelines to follow. Just because you send something in from a lawyer or a congressperson, that's not going to help your claim just because they have those titles. It doesn't work that way. If you meet the criteria, then yeah, you get granted. If not, they're going to deny you. Now, we can go back and forth about some things that the VA is doing that is not right currently, and I totally agree. Okay. I'm not talking about that. What I'm explaining is if you think going to get a lawyer is going to guarantee you service connection, no, it's not. I treated those claims the same way as the other claims because guess what? I still had to follow the guidelines as a rater. All right. Does the PACT Act only apply to veterans that served overseas? Donald, I'm assuming that you did not attend the event last week because part of that we talked about the PACT Act. Now, any presumptive condition, there's certain criteria, time frame, location, and certain conditions. You have to go out and go to the VA's website and do your research on the PACT Act because serving overseas, yeah, you served in a certain location, they're in a certain time frame, and you got a certain diagnosis. Okay. Here's a link in the comments section where you can go out and pick up my new book. If you want a signed copy, click on the link, purchase it, and I'll send you a signed copy. Oh, wait a minute. I just lost. Okay, there we go. Anthony Rivers, when you receive a DBQ and or Nexus from an examiner regarding a mental health claim, do you normally go with the recommendation the examiner checked off in box 4A? Anthony, I do know what DBQs are. I don't know. I don't have all of the DBQs memorized. So I don't know what's in box 4A. Okay. So you're going to have to help me out there. And I don't have it pulled up. Um, I would the veteran, if the veteran had their own DBQ, I would normally use a combination of both, especially if they're both a positive opinion to give the vet the highest percentage. Okay. But right off the top of my head, I don't know what section 4E is on that particular mental health DBQ. Eli, typically, how long does a high level review take? There's no set time frame. Okay. I've seen some take a couple of weeks, I've seen some take a couple of months. Filed in July after I won my VBA hearing for service connection mental health, but low ball rating, ready to use a negative CMP exam that previously denied me. Why not just going for an increase? Okay. Did you get a copy of the CMP exam? Was evidence, based on your current percentage? Let's just say you have 50%. Was there evidence at the time they adjudicated the claim in your file that shows you warranted a higher percentage based off the diagnostic code? Nothing else, the diagnostic code criteria. Okay. Mr. B, what do you think about GAO report about Black veterans? Man, that's a good question. I haven't read the report, but I saw an interview. And I think it was a veteran that was a Vietnam veteran. You let me know, Mr. B, if this was the same one. And he was talking about, as a Black veteran, he was getting denied just because he was a Black veteran, if I'm not mistaken. But the questions I have, one, what was the veteran claiming? Okay. Let's just say if the veteran was claiming, oh, I'm claiming this condition due to being exposed to Agent Orange. Can the VA confirm that he had boots on ground? Was he brown water? Was he blue water? Was he in the DMZ? Was he at a Royal Air Force base in Thailand? Was he at another location that the VA concedes Agent Orange? Did he have a diagnosis under 38 CFR 3.309 subpart E? If not, was it a condition that a study proved that condition that he had was the cause to Agent Orange? So I saw with that video, but they didn't get them into detail. And those are the questions after watching that video. Those were the questions that I had. And even any claim, okay, when veterans contact me and they, oh, I was denied, I'm thinking, okay, under one of the 5 ways of service connection, where does it fall? Do you meet the criteria? Do you have the evidence to prove it? So, Mr. B, to answer that question, I got more questions myself, more questions about it myself. Okay. Hello, how we doing? How to tackle a difference of opinion after submitting sufficient and actionable DBQ and getting denied through ACE exam. Whoo! I've done a couple of videos and I did one last year, I think, about inconsistencies amongst VA employees, because you got some employees doing DBQs and you have others that are not. I'm take that back. You have some VA employees that are using sufficient DBQs and or Nexus statements, and you have some that are not. Okay. The ones that are not, I have no clue, but they'll turn around. I have no clue as to why they're doing this. They'll turn around and submit a ACE exam when they know the veteran has a sufficient DBQ. And I call that developing to deny. So, TK, to answer your question, that's something that you can argue on a high level review. Okay. You have to get into the VA regulations. One, the first thing, you have to make sure, who did you have review that DBQ? Just because it was completed by a doctor doesn't mean that it's sufficient. Doesn't mean that it's sufficient that it was completed by a doctor that used to do CMP exams. You want somebody to get a second set, put a second set of eyes on that and confirm it. We do that here at KMD 89 for individuals. Okay, we'll look at the DBQ and or Nexus. Now, we're not medical professionals, so we're not looking at it from a medical standpoint because we're not medical professionals. We're looking at it from a VA rater's perspective to ensure it's sufficient per the VA guidelines. Okay. So that's the first thing. But when you get into the 38 CFRs, there's several of them out there. I've done videos on them and the M21 that states private done VA medical providers that can complete DBQs to make sure that it's sufficient. And that's what you can argue. Now, I've seen all of our clients win that on a high level review. But I've been hearing from other vets that they've been getting denied. So I don't know what's going on with the VA. I was trying to explain it in some recent videos. Are VA raters trained to deny? And some of the veterans that watched that video totally missed the point I was trying to make. Okay. As a VA rater, there was no time that I went through training that they just said, "Hey, we're only going to teach you to deny because we don't want the vet to get any of these benefits." No, I've never heard of any training like that. I didn't go through training, but I think the issue is when I went through rater training, it was about 15 weeks before I even did my first rating decision. Okay, I don't think the training goes that long. I think it's a lot shorter and it's not as robust as it used to be. And these raters are getting pushed through and they just don't have the time and training. And I think now they give them like mentors. So if you don't even have a good mentor, what good is that? It's like the blind leading the blind, right? That's my opinion. Okay. And things like this happen because also I'm not going to let the cat out the bag because I'm going to do a video on that. Okay. Rob, I bought your book. Great information. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Robbie, go to Amazon. Please leave a review. Go to Amazon.com, pull up the book, and leave a review for me. I really appreciate it. Crystal, if I don't have service records for a claim, how do I get the Nexus or Service Connect from my VA doctor if they aren't allowed to give that? You need your VA claims folder first, because if you have a private doctor to complete the DBQ, I've done videos on this in the M21, which is a manual reference that what is not law. It states evidence review claims folder. I did videos on it. Okay. So that's the first thing. Not only, Crystal, I didn't hear you say you need a DBQ. A lot of veterans just submit Nexuses. When I was a rater, you submit a Nexus, I'm sending it out for a CMP exam because the diagnostic code criteria is not in the Nexus, it's in the DBQ. So how am I to know? You give me a medical opinion if you know what's in the Nexus statement. And by the way, Crystal, I showed some examples of Nexus statements in my training that I did last week, and that was free. Okay. So about 350 people signed up but didn't show up, so they missed out. So you need a DBQ as well because the diagnostic code criteria is not in the Nexus statement, it's in the DBQ. So for me to adjudicate that claim, I need that information. How else do I get it? Now I got to send it out either for ACE exam or send you to a CMP exam to show up. I think I could count on one hand, how many ACE exams that I did out of hundreds of claims that I did. I didn't like them because I knew the doctor wasn't going to pick up the phone and call the vet. And at a minimum, if they do an ACE exam, they should do that because everybody doesn't get treatment at the VA. A lot of vets may not submit tons of private medical evidence that meaning the VA examiner, third party examiner may not even review. Okay. So how else do you get the information? You got to talk to the vet. Okay. So a lot of VA primary care physicians, they will not complete the DBQ. Okay. TK, thank you for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the support to the channel. We got a LinkedIn user. Hello, Dwayne. I'm at the 90-day mark in my claim process. I did VES exam for knee injury and S injury I had during active duty. Is there a time frame I should expect final decision? No. I did a video on VA wait times and I talk about this. There's no set time frame. They're not going to say, oh, it's going to take us 30 days. Oh, it's going to take us 60 days. You're not going to get that from the VA. Hey, what's going on, Scrap Guy? Bob Connor, should I even apply for PTSD due to MST? I have been told multiple times as a man it's not going to happen. Uh, that's incorrect, Bob. I've actually service connected a few males for PTSD due to military sexual trauma. Okay. It's not uncommon. And I did a video on, you said, I've been told. I did a video on They Said. They said it get vets into a lot of trouble because a lot of people talking about they said never rated before and just saying some things based off nothing. Okay. You got to get educated, Bob. You got to understand if you're claiming PTSD due to military sexual trauma, did you report it? If you didn't report it, what are markers? Guess what? Talked about it last week. So we're going to try to get those videos edited. And again, once we get them edited, we'll put them out there on a landing page for you to view. Go back. We'll break it up into. I'll probably break it up in like maybe 5 or 6 videos, so you're not watching, an hour's worth of information at the same time. We'll probably break it up into chapters, but you will. There will be a small fee. Okay, you could have got it free last week, and actually Thursday night. Each night was only an hour. First night, I think I went 5 minutes over. Second night, probably went another 5 minutes over. The third night, I think I went 30 minutes over. The last night, I went over 2.5 hours because everybody that was on there had questions. Not everybody, but I didn't get off until every single question was answered. So if you missed out, that was the first and only time that we're doing that event. If you want me to do it for an organization, a company that you work for, or a school that you attend that have veterans, reach out to me. I'll put you in contact with my booking agent, and you can schedule a date and talk to particulars to bring me in. We can either do it by lunch and learn. I've done it that way before, an hour each day for lunch and learn, and then another at the end, another hour of Q&A. Okay. So if that's something that you're interested in, shoot me an email, give me a call, put you in touch with my booking agent, and then we can go from there. Big Dog 23. Yes, I got the book. Great information. Thank you. Big Dog, did you go to Amazon and leave a review? Everybody, if you got the book, go to Amazon and leave a review. Let other veterans know what you thought of the book. Big Dog, thank you for your support and glad that you enjoyed the book. Jamie, I filed for PTSD. I conducted a personal effect. So a personal effect of the Marines KIA. Let's say I didn't sign my name on the law book saying I conducted that personal effects case as a particular case that I'm claiming. Okay. So in the Army, we call it grave registration. So I've seen veterans say, hey, I work for grave registration, and I was handling a lot of the remains of veterans coming back from the Gulf War. Okay. And they've actually got service connected based off that MOS, because that's what grave registration do. But you got to understand, one, Jamie, how does, if you don't have that, how can they confirm it? Could possibly do lay statements, buddy statements, or something like that. They may concede. If you did have something like grave registration as an MOS in the Marines, that should be enough, at least at a minimum, to get you a CMP exam. Thank you for all the information. Do you get back paid for increased claims? Depends on the effective date. Guess what? I have a video on my YouTube channel where I talk about effective dates. I got diagnosed with major depression, like symptoms for my lower back pain. Is that enough to file for depression and secondary? Yes, that's enough to file for it. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. it still has to go through the process. You filed a claim, they give you a CMP exam, and you have to explain to the examiner why you feel depressed from having low back pain. Okay. Just having a diagnosis doesn't mean it's automatic. Okay. So we got 165 people in here. So we should have 167. We should have 167 likes. So somebody let me know how many likes we got. Okay. RV, in your opinion, is sleep apnea a hard claim to win? I will be filing for it secondary to asthma, chronic sinusitis, and allergic rhinitis recently diagnosed and a CPAP prescribed by the VHA. Okay. So that's, you're half the way there. Okay. I don't think it's hard, but I think what's going to be the determining factor is the examiner. If the examiner says yes, boom, you got it. Have I seen veterans win when they file sleep apnea secondary to asthma, chronic sinusitis? Yes. And also I've seen some that were denied, but I've seen more be granted than the others that were denied. Okay. But it's going to have to go through the process. That CMP exam is going to be like a job interview. You got to basically let them know why you feel that you are depressed. Okay. T, on that log book. Hope that made sense. Thanks for all what you do. I'm gonna try to go back right quick. T on the log book. I did sign my name on the log book. I conclude. Okay. No, you kind of confused me even more there, Jamie. But I hope I was able to answer your question as it pertains to grave registration. Sweet and Low, 718. End of service 2017, deployed to Qatar, was in and out of the VA last year for cluster migraines, regular 10 days of steroids, MRI, etc. VA sending locally for treatment. Can I get service connected? I'm at 87%. Okay, Sweet and Low, where does it fall under the 5 ways of service connection? So I can't say you will just because you're getting treatment at the VA. Know what you're claiming, migraines. Where does it fall under the 5 ways of service connection? And do you meet that criteria? Okay. It's going to have to go through the same process as like the other conditions that you're service connected for. So if you're claiming on a direct basis, do you have a copy of your medical records from active duty? Does it show treatment, complaints, and or diagnosis? Is you playing, or if you're claiming it, are you claiming it as a Gulf War undiagnosed illness due to service in Qatar, being deployed to Qatar? And in Rivers, when you saw an examination which came to the conclusion, at least as likely as not, did you look upon this language in a negative light? No. That means, and what he's saying, everyone, is the medical opinion. Least as likely as not, it's positive medical opinion. If it's less likely, LESS, that's a negative opinion. But also, Anthony, I would also look at the remainder of the DBQ to make sure that it was sufficient, even if it was coming from a third-party CMP examiner. As soldiers, if my sleep apnea is a secondary, could depression be secondary to sleep apnea? Yes, it could. I've seen it before. Now, again, I'm no medical professional. You have to file a claim and it has to go through that process. Okay. But I've seen veterans claim it that way. Tim F. Hello, Dwayne. Is fibromyalgia considered systemic disorder? And can I file an increase to my mental health rating? Yes, you can file an increase for the mental health. Somatic disorder, I would have to Google that. Not right off the top of my head would I know if fibromyalgia is considered. I've seen somatic disorder rated under mental, fibromyalgia under musculoskeletal. And yes, you can always go in for an increase in your mental health. If you feel you meet the criteria, your condition is worse. If you feel your condition has gotten worse. T-Rod just got 3 books. Hey, if you read any of it, did you leave an Amazon review? Let me know what you think about it. Good evening, Dwayne. Put that Put that on the crack. I'm about to learn you something, dude. I'm about to learn you something. Okay, if y'all don't know who that is, T-Rod, go ahead and let them know in the comment what we're talking about. All right, John Erickson. Can you have two separate ratings for pes cavus and plantar fasciitis? That would be pyramiding. And I got to do a video on pyramiding. I haven't never done a video on pyramiding. Miguel, how long approximately to get a decision after my claim is assigned to a rater and is her queue? Oh, Miguel, may sound like you may be a VA employee. People don't know about that VBMS RQ. There's no set time frame. No set time frame, Miguel. But when I rated, when they came out with VBMSR, they was like, okay, you got 5 days to get that claim, take action on that claim, whether you rate it, defer it back, and then it went down to 3 days. I don't know what they're currently at right now. So it's going to be hard to say. But normally in the past, it was 5 days, then 3 days. But that's if everything falls into place. No additional development, everything is there, and the rater can adjudicate the claim. I've seen it set in the queue longer than that. Okay. Then sometimes supervisors are like, hey, what's going on with this? We need to get it out of your queue, get something done. Okay. LG, Merry Christmas. You got that hat on, looking all Christmassy there. Hey, Dwayne, I'm trying to claim IBS. Any suggestions? Recently had a colonoscopy, complained to PCM and given stool softeners. Thanks. Okay. So just because your PCM diagnosed you had a colonoscopy, doesn't mean automatic service connection. Okay. Where does IBS fall under the 5 ways of service connection? Are you claiming it? IBS due to Gulf War undiagnosed illness from serving in Southwest Asia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Saudi, Kuwait, etc. Crystal, if you had a psychiatrist fill out DBQ and Nexus letter for PTSD, do you have to go to the CMP exam or can you deny it? I denied mine. But the first question, Crystal, is it sufficient? 2, did the doctor review VA claims folder? Because per the M21, they have to put that in the DBQ. 3, what is the stressor and can it be confirmed? Okay. So it's a lot of questions that need to be answered before denying it. Denying meaning denying going to the CMP exam. Cons and pros for self-written personal statements, VA 421-4138. I get a lot of people say, Dwayne, can you look at my personal statement? Can you look at this late statement? Tell me, if it's good or not. Your personal statement is your personal statement. I don't even look at those. I don't even charge anybody to look at those because it is your statement. Now, one thing I would say, if you write a 50-page statement, which I've seen before, somebody has to review that and they could miss something, opposed to you just keeping it short, direct, and to the point, and maybe a 1-pager or at the most 2. Okay. But your statement is your statement. Angela, I'm sorry. Hi, my husband passed away. Sorry to hear that. My condolences to you and your family. He was 100%. I got my DIC. Okay. I was about to ask that question. My husband passed away as a result on prostate cancer to which he never filed a claim due to late diagnosis. Is there any benefit in filing a claim? Good question. You're getting the DIC. But how did you get the DIC? Because DIC is granted when a veteran passes away for a service-connected condition, unless those other conditions have been in effect more than 10 years. So I would have to do some research on that because I got some additional questions. How did you file the DIC? How did they grant the DIC? And then I would have to do research from there. The book is wonderful, and I helped a vet that had been denied prior get 70% first try, helping about 4 others at this time. Okay. Did you leave an Amazon review? Everybody, if you got the book and you found it helpful, go out there and leave an Amazon review. Let other veterans know, hey, this book is okay. This book is good. Okay. It helped. This is the book. Okay. Can we see it? There it is. VA claim success. Okay. Your guide to maximizing um, your VA compensation benefits. Okay. Let me know what you think. Let other veterans know what you think. Leave a review. Go to Amazon. Okay. It's Amazon, www.amazon.com. Okay. Joyce Parker, what is the next step for my husband that was denied high blood pressure, diabetes, and ED? He had a 5-day evaluation of elevated BP, but wasn't diagnosed until several years after discharge. Okay. Joyce, I think you missed the presentation last week that I gave. Free. It was free over 4 days. First night, we talked about the 5 ways of service connection. So the next step, Ms. Parker, high blood pressure, diabetes, ED. Where does it fall under the 5 ways of service connection? If it doesn't fall under either one of those, they're going to deny the claim. If it does, then what evidence do you have to prove it? Okay. But if you say the blood pressure wasn't diagnosed until years later, is he a Vietnam vet? Because that's a presumptive, which is one of the 5 ways of service connection. So that's what you got to figure out. And those are the next steps, Ms. Parker. All right. So we got 204 people, and nobody has told me. Okay, 75 likes, 53, 3, 85 likes. Okay, so we got 200 people and only 85 likes. Come on. Okay, we got to get going. Got to get those up. Ron, question. I have been getting conflicting info on being able to work when 100% scheduled without any restriction. Is this true or not? I'm 100% PNT. Ron, please watch my video on They Said. There's no restriction for 100% PNT. There is when it is for individual unemployability. Okay, there we go with another They Said. Not saying anything negative to you, Ron, but I'm just saying there's people out there don't know what they're talking about when it comes to this. Okay. Rick 829, if you have a private DBQ in Nexus, I'm assuming that is sufficient. Can you call and demand that a CMP exam is not needed to state that you did not intend to attend? Yes, and you could put it in your wording for your claim. Okay. Not the report shows veterans get lower rating. Okay. I'm just trying to think of, I'm thinking about my time at the VA. That's hard to say. It's hard to say because then in their report, what did they look at? Which, we wouldn't know this, but what rating decisions did they look at for African Americans? And the evidence in that rating decision, did it show they should have been granted a higher percentage? That's the question I have. Just thinking as a rater, I looked at the name, really didn't look at, their background. They were black, white, Spanish, or whatever. Did they meet the criteria? Now, I'm not saying were there other VA employees that actually looked at to see if the veteran was African American and just lowballed them. I don't know. I didn't hear of anything while I was working at the VA, but afterwards. But again, what was found, who looked at that claims file for these African Americans? What evidence was in those claims file opposed to other veterans with similar claim conditions that met the same criteria. Okay. Because you got to look at not only the claims file, you got to look at the CMP exam. What about the examiners? Were there any examiners that were given African Americans lower percentages based on, if you take 2 exams, you have a Caucasian veteran and a white veteran and a black veteran, same CMP exam, same criteria in the claims folder. What did the examiner do? So that's going to they had to look at hundreds of claims, okay, and then try and make a comparison. But that's the questions I would have if I'm looking at a report like that. Not just, oh, this is what they came up with. What evidence did they look at? Okay, to come up with those numbers or to come out with with the information, to come out with the information in their report. All right, F. Arbery. Dwayne, I was awarded SMCS and did a supplemental claim for SMCL due to I didn't submit the VA 2680 the first time. I was recently denied for SMCL, but in the denial, it said favorable findings. Okay, I'm not going to get into favorable findings, Aubrey, but I did a video on favorable findings. And I tell veterans, look at that video because one of my employees, associates, explained favorable findings. Just because they list favorable findings does not mean you should have been service connected. That's not what favorable findings means. It could just mean, hey, you got a current diagnosis. But that doesn't mean that that diagnosis is service connected. Okay. Favorable findings confuse veterans. Go out to the channel. I was telling people this last week during the event. Go to the channel, click on the videos. You see a little hourglass to the right. Type in SMCS, type in favorable findings. You'll see the videos that I've done come up on that. Watch the entire video. People ask me, Dwayne, I watched this video, and they'll leave a comment and they'll say, hey, you didn't say this, you didn't say that. And I actually did. They just didn't watch the entire video. So definitely, Aubrey, go out and go out to my YouTube channel, check out those videos. David Thompson, 10% service connection for tinnitus, filing a secondary claim for migraines, having a tough time getting a physician to agree that my migraines is caused by my tinnitus. Any suggestions? Keep going. Keep knocking. Somebody's going to say yes, okay? But you got to explain that. How are you going to sue an appeal? Okay. Do you meet, first of all, Aubrey, do you meet the criteria for SMCL? That's the question. Do you know how your examiner should complete that 2680? We give classes on it, private classes. Okay. Eddie Davis, do you know anyone like yourself that can help me in the Jacksonville, Florida area? Just got off the phone with a previous client in the Jacksonville area. I think the majority of our clients come from Jacksonville. Okay. And it depends on what kind of help you're looking for. We educate. Okay. Josh, thank you for, I was just reading the question. I was like, okay, $40.99. So thank you for the donation. Really appreciate it. Question, can Navy veterans qualify for PACT Act? Yes. If they have diagnosis symptom and visited designated countries for yes, 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 and yes, yes. And thanks again for the donation, Josh. Eric Jones, hi Dwayne. Hi Eric. If I was diagnosed with pes planus at my MEPS entrance exam, can I claim a direct service connection that was aggravated during my service? No, Eric, that falls under pre-service aggravation. Guess what? I don't think you attended the event last week. We talked about it. Okay. And I did some videos on step one of the VA claims process a couple of years ago, talking about the 5 ways of service connection. It's still relevant to today. Okay. My claim was submitted online on June 26th, and I went to step 3 the same day, and it's been in the same step ever since. I haven't seen any correspondence about additional documents or exam. It's definitely a waiting game for some veterans. Okay. Does VAB, do you mean VBA, contact the doctor who completed DBQ or Nexus? Very seldom, but in M21 it states that they can. But if that was my doctor, would I want them to discussing something with a VA rater? How did the doctor know that's a VA rater and not someone else calling in? So I think the only time as a rater I call the doctor's office is to ask, do you have a doctor by that name in this office? That was it, to confirm that. Okay. But I didn't ask questions about the veteran's information. Happiness. If the DBQ for my husband PTSD won't be complete by the day we turn everything in, But the very important letter with the explanation of severe symptoms of cold is ready. Would that be okay to upload? If you did intent to file, why not wait on the DBQ to be completed? And who you're going to have to look at it to make sure it's sufficient for rating purposes. Does allergic rhinitis have to be chronic to qualify for the PACT Act? No. But do you meet the criteria? VA disability benefits actions needed to further examine racial and ethnic disparities in compensation. All right. Studio 76, I have mental health exam for increase currently 50%. How would I even quantify what is going on in my head and my daily struggles? I started watching you about a month ago. Really appreciate the information. Well, Studio 76, have you had a CMP exam? Okay. If you haven't had your CMP, if you haven't had that CMP exam, you can sign up for one of our private Q&A sessions, and one of my associates, they would explain to you the 70 and 100% criteria, because that's what you need to articulate to that examiner. Okay. Patricia, have less than 180 days left on active duty, started the BDD process, but I'm doing it on my own. Do you have any advice? How far are you from the 80th day? Have you had someone look through your service treatment records to compare to what you actually claimed? Okay. What's in your medical records from active duty? Also, for the conditions that you claim, have you went to the VA's rating scheduler to see the criteria, diagnostic code criteria for each one of those conditions? If you want a private Q&A, Patricia, we can get that set up and show you. You can let us know a couple of conditions that you're claiming. We can show you the diagnostic code criteria, and you can look at, oh yeah, I'm 20% for this, I'm 30% for that, or I'm 50% for that. So guess what you're talking about when you get to that CMP exam? The percentages you think you fall under. So reach out to us and let me know if you want us to set you up for a private Q&A. My consultations, I'm bagged up about 3 weeks out. So if you call me at 800-827, I'm giving you the VA National Call Center, because I've been giving that number out all day. If you call me at 855-765-3137, extension 0, 855-765-3137, extension 0. I'm going to say it again, 855-765-3137, extension 0. Call me directly. I may not pick up. I've been on the phone with about 15 vets today, so I'm either on the phone or answering emails or responding to YouTube comments. I'll call you back, and we can talk about getting you set up and having a more detailed conversation. All right, so we got 227 people, almost 230 people. How many likes we got? Tyrone is watching. I know the icon, and I've seen you leave comments. Tyrone is watching. Thanks for all the comments on YouTube and the support to the channel. For his PTSD and TBI increases, that is. Okay. I can't remember the original question. Happiness. Jeff B, PACT Act claim pending since early February. Is this normal? You know, I don't know what it is with the VA. Some claims could get rated in a week, and then others just take so long, and then it depends on the veteran, if there's development that's needed. If you put treatment in section 17 of the 526CZ, you just added about 4 or 5 months onto your claim, because they got to send you documentation that needs to be signed. Then they got to send it to the doctor. They got to wait on the doctor. If the doctor doesn't respond, then they got to send a letter to you saying that the doctor didn't respond. It's your ultimate responsibility. Okay. So it just depends. I am 30%. Dyspnea 2006. Now VA doc diagnosed PTSD. Last work 2019, SSDI, August 2021. How should I submit TDIU? Okay, watch my video TDIU. Okay. TDIU is not a standalone claim. It is a claim for increase for your service connected conditions, not non-service connected condition. It's an increase for all service connected conditions. Okay. Carlos, I am at 12 years of the 20-year rule. If I file a claim for a new condition, will it reset the clock? Yep. On all my not on all your conditions. No. Um, all my conditions are static. Should I go for increase or protect by my clock? It'll be up to you. Okay. But if they do that, they won't reset it for all of them. Railroad Man, thank you for the donation and support to the channel. Definitely appreciate it. Just got back, excuse me, just got back DBQ for bilateral flat feet. Examiner mark no functional loss, just extreme pain, and that insoles are not working. What percent should I expect? I would have to look at the whole DBQ, Railroad Man, plus match it against the diagnostic code criteria, which I don't have memorized. There's a lot of diagnostic codes. I don't have all the criteria for all of them memorized. So in order to answer that question, I have to look at the current diagnostic code for bilateral flat feet and look at what's in the CMP exam. Greg Brown, hi Dwayne. Is it true that if you apply for an increased VA, not only evaluates the disability that the veterans requesting an increase on, but the VA also reevaluates all the veterans' disability? That's incorrect, Greg. That is a huge YouTube myth. Where that's coming from, I have no idea. As a rating specialist, a former rating specialist, I rated hundreds of claims, and I can only think of one right now that I actually went back and looked at everything. Now, in that case, it was the veteran. The veteran got caught with their hand in the cookie jar because years ago, something happened that shouldn't have happened with their claim, and he or she didn't let the VA know. Okay. That's the only time that I can think of right off the top of my head. So if somebody says that, if somebody tells you, somebody in YouTube video says, hey, don't do this because they'll go back and look at everything. Ask them what regulation they're getting it from because I want to know. So as a VA employee that took a test every other year on this job, never did I see that. The hundreds and hundreds of training hours that I went through, I'd never seen that. So if somebody that never rated told you that, or if somebody did tell you that, ask them the regulation. Let me know. I want to know. Okay. Other than that, it's just they say it. Okay. That's all it is. Jimmy Ayrton, I'm 90% told, and I wasn't, Greg, I wasn't getting excited and focusing that towards you. It's just, I hear that a lot, and I'm just like, why are people telling vets this? Why? Okay. Jimmy Ayrton, I'm 90% total, 70% PTSD, SMCK, SMCS. Am I eligible for SMCL? Don't know. Because I don't know if you meet the criteria for SMCL. Okay. If you look up, and I did a video and showed the criteria for SMCL, you have to go there and see where do you fall under that criteria. Okay. Brian, hello, sir. Is it hard to get migraine, secondary PTSD, and sleep apnea? It has to go through the process. It has to go through the process. You got to file a claim, go to a CMP exam, and the doctor has to say yay or nay. I've seen it go both ways. Is it possible to overcome a denial for service connection? Yes. Okay, you got 75 likes, 53. Thank you, Miss Will. 3? Only 3. Okay. Traveling Terry, 85. We got 235 people. We should at least have 200 likes. Can I have IU and apply for VRE? I know what VRE is. I never worked in VRE. It's under VBA, so I can't answer that question. I don't know because I don't even look up any VR&E regulations. I know it is voc rehab, but their criteria, I couldn't tell you. Raiders have nothing to do with VR&E. CH, if you have a history of headaches in your service records and you still have the headaches and migraines, can you service connect them based on service record history? You can apply and it goes through the process, and the examiner will have to provide a positive or negative opinion. Kobe Jenkins, is it good or bad if your claim is already in stage 4 after only 2 weeks after submitting your claim with your private DBQs? No. I can't say that it's bad or a good thing. If they haven't called you for a CMP exam, that might be a good thing, but to say it's good or bad, I can't, because I don't know how that one particular VA employee is looking at your claim. Okay, Jamie, I left a review on the book. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is outstanding. Thank you for writing it. And it helped me get started on my new claim. So I am going to put the link. If you want a signed copy, go to that link. If you don't want a signed copy, go to Amazon. Here's the book. Okay, here it is. This is what it looks like. Okay, that's it. That's the book. VA Claim Success. All right, your guide to maximizing your VA compensation benefits. Thank you for the support, Jamie. Gina, greetings. If a veteran was just rated 100% permanent total with no future exam and has one claim that was deferred, should they pull back the deferred claim so as not to lose? Where are you getting it from, Gina? Who told you that they would do that? Since you have a deferred claim, who said they will go back and lose that 100% rating? Again, people, I wish people would have attended my presentation last week. A lot of good information. Gina, do you have the book? Okay. Whoever is saying this out there in YouTube land or Facebook, wherever, ask them what regulation states that. What regulation that, as a former VA Raider, hundreds of hours of training, is it possible they could go back and look at some? I did a video where I gave a reason why I went back and looked at one claim. Okay. And I just talked about it. Well, not in detail, but I just stated, you know what, Gina, at 6 o'clock, we got 3 minutes. I'm sorry. Yeah. At 8 o'clock, I'm going to explain why I went back and looked. Okay. So we got 237 people here. Everybody needs to hear this. Okay. I'm going to debunk it real quick. All right. So stick around, Ms. Smith. Teddy, I filed for shin splints in 95 when I got out, got denied because I didn't know what I was doing. I still have issues. So I'm going to try again with new knowledge, tips. And if I get it, will it be back pay? No, because you let that 1 year period, 1 year appeal period expire. So it's like you're starting all over again. Arvale, have you seen sleep apnea secondary to major depressive disorder proof? Yes, several times. Have my Nexus letter, LMO, IMO with more than likely than not opinion. Where's the DBQ? Have you had somebody look at the two to see if it's sufficient? That's the question. How much the VA rate for high blood pressure? I don't have that diagnostic code memorized. I think it's diagnostic code 7101, hypertension. Okay. I know where to go and find it. And people, Raiders don't have all this information memorized. We're not trained to memorize it. We're trained to go to know where to go and find the information. Now, some stuff right off the top of my head, like I know I use a standalone claim. It's a claim for increase. I think it's 38 CFR 4.161 or 4.1616, something like that. Okay. I know where to go and find it. I don't have it memorized. This is where you, the veteran, got to do that legwork. I've done classes last week. I gave some examples of diagnostic codes and went through the information and explained it. And it was a free training. And again, we had like 532 people sign up. I think we had maybe like 150 people. In the night, we had 233. And people can't say, oh, I forgot. We sent out 2 or 3 emails weekly. Okay. So you got to get into these free events. I'm telling you, these are things that we're talking about. There's 3 or more debilitating migraines a week and daily mandatory use of, I can't pronounce that word, self device warrant and automatic 50% migraines. No. Guess what? Last week, we talked about diagnostic codes, and I used migraines as the first example. Went through it. Okay. Went through it. All right. So we're going to go through at 8 o'clock. Joe H, thank you for the super sticker. Let's see. Okay. We got 202 likes. We got 230. So 30 people out there. What are you doing? Okay. Someone says 107, 197. Okay. Thanks, Kenneth. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ron. Okay. Who is it? Somebody said, yes, I did. Yes, I just did that last week. Okay. So I'm going to leave another link for the book. Again, you can go out Amazon and pick it up if you want. If you want a signed copy, I'll sign it and send it to you. Patricia says, I come across many soldiers that have an STD. Some are not curable. Does the VA offer ratings for conditions like HVS 1 and 2? I don't know what HVS is, Patricia. I would have to look it up and see what it is, what it would fall under the diagnostic codes. I know they have HIV in the diagnostic code criteria under, I think it's the immune body system. Okay. All right. Want to get the people highlight a thank you for the donation. I will go ahead and answer your question because you're supporting me with the donation. I appreciate that. Dwayne, thanks for all you do. Is there a way to see the claim form that I regretfully let a rep file for me? Not in conditions. I have no idea of what was put on the form, filed in May, waiting for CMP exam. Yes, you can reach back out to them and ask them, hey, what did you put on that form? If they got access to your claims folder, okay? Hey, Gene, haven't seen you in a while. Good evening, Professor of Knowledge on VA claims, okay? Let's see. Annette Baker, we have to connect from last week. Thank you for the support. Okay. You got to get on my calendar. We gotta get that hashed out of what I emailed you and what we talked about last week. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any more super stickers? I want to get to those. Okay, here we go. Dr. O. Turner, thank you for the support. Definitely appreciate it. Can I file temporary 100% convalescent disability while I'm working? Yes. But one thing about the convalescence, you have to understand that criteria. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say you had a knee replacement. Your doctor would have to tell you or write how long you would need to be off work, how long would you need to be convalescent. And if you go back to work or you're on restrictions, how long you're going to be on those restrictions. And if you're doing physical therapy, they could put that in a letter. If they say 6 months, you should receive the convalescence for paragraph 30, temporary 100% for those 6 months. I'm currently on FMLA at work due to service-connected disability. I'm at 80%, now PTSD and migraine. So, Dr. Turner, I did a video where I explained paragraph 29 and paragraph 30. Go to my channel, look at those videos. I talk about the criteria, okay, and see if you meet that criteria. And if so, what evidence do you have? All right. I'm going to make sure I get to all my super stickers to answer those questions. Oh, there we go. Yep. Keisha say training was great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think he was on last night too. And see, I'm gonna tell you what you get with me, people, in my organization. We had the trainer last week. We offered discounts. We had a few people sign up, and I was getting a lot of questions And it was clear that, hey, a lot of people didn't understand when I was talking about the services last week. Guess what I was doing last night? I was on a Q&A with them for over an hour. Did I charge them? No, because I want to make sure before they proceed with any of our services that they understood. Okay, so this is what you get from us. I'm live tonight. I'm gonna be live tomorrow. And last week, last Thursday, I was going to create a GoFundMe account. And again, last night, because the wife was like, "You're always online. You're always online." And I'm like, I got to get veterans this information. I just cannot leave them behind. I got to get them this information. Okay. So that's why I did the event last week, because I want people to get educated. Okay. Pierre, you say you just stumbled on my site. Did you subscribe? Did you get the book? I'll leave the link again in the description section, not description section, but the comment section. I'm always saying that in my videos, okay? W. Wilson, thank you for the super sticker and the support to the channel. Salute to the channel. Thank you, Messenger. Lewis, thumbs up. All right. Here we go. Jimmy Jam. Hey, appreciate the super sticker and the support to the channel. Definitely appreciate it. Great info. Hey, 225 likes. Thank you, Miss Parker. You're great. Love the info. Love the info. Love the info. Thank you, Joseph. I'm sorry. Okay. I think that's. Oh, we got another super sticker there. Lewis Copen, thank you for the super sticker, the support to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're at 241 people. We got 227 likes. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Mrs. Free. Hey, thank you for the support to the channel. Thank you for the support coming into my monthly VA roundtables. Thank you for the donation. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Okay, I just saw this. Herpes simplex. I don't know if that may fall under skin condition. It could be alganized, okay, under psoriasis or dermatitis, because it has something to do with the skin more than likely. Okay, I never rated one of those cases, but it could fall under one of the skin. I will look under the rating schedule for the skin conditions, because it could be analogized, meaning, okay, it's not a diagnosis in the rating scheduler, but they're going to connect it to something close to. So it could either fall under skin or maybe an immune disorder. Okay. Okay, Dr. Turner. Yep, you got it. All right. Man, we got a lot of donations tonight. Wow, I really appreciate it. Cindy Carr, thank you for the donation, for the support to the channel. Man, we got, okay, here's another one. Jerry. What kind of car is that, Jerry? Thank you. First time listener, thank you for the support, Jerry. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go out to Amazon and get the book. If you do, leave a review. Mr. Rodriguez or Miss Rodriguez, I got the book. Did you leave a review on Amazon? Come on, people, leave a review on Amazon. Gene, thank you. Got the signed book. Okay, leave a review on Amazon. Let everybody know what you think. We got a lot of super stickers. Okay, there's another one. Miss Parker, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Derek Glenn, 20. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Make sure you go out, subscribe to the channel, look at the different videos that I put out on the channel. Rodney Gaines, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody that's leaving donations, thank you. And what I'm doing with that, just so you know, the last few years, I adopted a couple schools in the Tampa area, low income areas, and I was doing certain things, back to school, giveaways. Gene, Seminole Ranger, tell you, we talked on the phone in some of my groups. I gave away about $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of school supplies last year. So this year we're doing something different. I created a private family foundation in my grandmother's name, and we're going to give away scholarships to children in low income high schools that want to go to college. So we're going to be giving away $500,000 scholarships. So the revenue I generate from YouTube goes to that. Your donations goes to that. Even though I want that Dodge Charger, Hellcat, I'm going to give it away to kids that need to go to college. That because I had to pay my own way through college, and so I get it. Okay, so thanks, Chattanooga Vet. Thank you for the donation. 70% TDIU and PACT Act approved, but now trying to add Parkinson's to it. Now wants a doctor appointment with QTC, but knows I have Parkinson's. So I'm assuming you're a Vietnam vet. Go out there, look at the criteria for Parkinson's, okay? Linda Taylor, thanks for the donations. Hey, I really appreciate all the donations, okay? Let me go through. Okay, so that's it, everyone. So I did promise somebody, I think Gina Smith, and I'm going to explain when I actually went back and looked at stuff in the file when the veteran claimed something, okay? It wasn't, the vet wasn't even 100%, okay? I've rated cases where the vet was 100% and they were claiming something new. And guess what? I didn't go back and look at the entire claims file. That's my claims file right there. Everybody see that? That's my claims file. I have it on CD, but that's my actual claims file. Everything that I sent to VA, I kept. Everything that the VA sent me, I kept. Whenever I had a VA CMP exam at the VA, I went to release of information and I got it. I submitted a FOIA request years ago to get a copy of my medical records from active duty. They sent them. Guess what? I put them there. Okay. Other information like dependent application, everything is in there. I kept it. I built it myself. And then once I was done, I submitted another FOIA request to get it on CD. Okay. Now, when did I go back? When a veteran was 100% PNT, did I go back and look at everything if they filed a new claim? No. There's no regulation states that any rater has to. Now, that's 2 volumes. And if you think that's thick, I've seen I've seen veterans that had so many volumes, nobody could carry it. They had to put it on a cart and push it around the regional office. Do you think people had time to go back and look through 10 volumes? That would take you a week, if not longer. Okay. Now, the time it says I'm almost half that. Now, the one time that I did go back and look at everything, a veteran was claiming left knee secondary to right knee. Okay. Veterans claiming left knee secondary to right knee. Whenever they come in for a paired joint, a paired extremity, the examiner always has to look at the primary condition, which in this case was right knee. So the veteran was claiming left knee secondary to the right knee. Okay. Goes to the exam, comes back, and the vet wasn't even 100%. Keep in mind, you okay? Comes back, I get the file. It was a paper file. And I'm looking through it. I'm looking at the CMP exam. Go through. Yep. The doctor gave a positive opinion. Left knee is secondary, so I know I can grant. So I'm just looking at the DBQ to make sure it's sufficient, right? I get to the location where it says, has the vet had I can't remember the medical term for joint replacement. For anybody, Annette, if you're still on, what is the term that they use for joint replacement? I can't think of it. It starts with an A. If you're still on, Annette, if you wouldn't mind, put it in the chat, in the comment section. But anyway, veteran claim left knee service connector for secondary to the right knee. Got a positive opinion. I'm looking through it. And I get to the section where it says, has the veteran had a knee replacement? And the doctor says no for both knees. Guess what? The vet is service connected for the right knee with the knee replacement. So I'll go back to the rating code sheet. Yep, man, okay. Let me send out for an addendum because the examiner said no, but the veteran has a right knee. Then I said, oh, let me check the rating decision. I look at the rating decision. Yep, the rater granted right knee. The veteran was at 10%, but they granted an increase. And the rating decision was maybe like 8, 9 years old, right? Then I looked through the rating decision. I'm like, okay, man, the examiner screwed up. It had to see that big scar on the veteran's knee, right? But then I looked at the DBQ, no scar, no knee replacement. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me check the operative report before I send this back to the examiner. Guess what? Veteran never had a knee replacement. Never had a knee replacement. Had a knee scope. Okay, veteran had a knee scope. That was it. So now I have to sever service connection for the right knee replacement and do a proposal to reduce. So the vet knew, I went back in the rating decision and looked in the narrative. The vet knew they did not have a knee replacement. And back then they would grant knee replacements at 100, temporary 100% for a whole year. So instead of the veteran calling in and say, hey, wait a minute, I don't have a knee replacement. Vet said nothing. Want to get that 100% for the whole year, right? Came back, got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, got reduced. That's how, I think that's the only time out of hundreds of claims I ever went back. But now let's use that same scenario. Let's just say the vet came in, vet was service connected for PTSD, came in for an increase. I wouldn't have caught that because I'm not going back and looking. I'm looking at the previous code sheet to see if the veteran service connected. That's it. I'm not going to look at all these conditions to see how they did that and did this. I would never meet my quota. Never. And there's no requirement saying that I had to. Okay. So whoever's saying that, what's the regulation? I've rated hundreds of claims where veterans was 100% PNT and they filed a new claim and they got service connected or it got denied and they still had their 100% PNT. And I guess what? I talked about it last week about poking the bear. I've been hearing people talk about poke the bear. So I had a bear and I had a guy punching the bear with these gloves on, right? Who is saying this stuff? Where are they getting it from? Okay. You got to be educated on this claims process. This is what we do. We educate veterans. I could be out at the pool drinking a margarita, but I'm on doing a live that should have been off 17 minutes ago. I want you all to be educated. Spent hours last week. Was on last night, on tonight, gonna be on tomorrow night. You got to get educated, okay? So I see we got some stickers here. Gonna go through. Let's see. I think Miss Taylor, you were the last one. W. Wilson, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you use places like urgent care for some of your diagnosis, tinnitus, ENT, or audiologist or urgent care? I did use the urgent care for new and relevant evidence. I did use tinnitus, not tinnitus, but I did use an ENT doctor for a condition I'm service connected for my ears. They did, the guy, and I still go to him, and I got to make an appointment with him. I'm glad you said that. So I need to write that down because I got to call him tomorrow. Okay. Dwayne is straight up advisor. He not only assists vets, but the local kids. Yep. There you go. We got Pierre. Pierre, hey, did you subscribe? Are you going to go out and get the book? Thank you for the donation. Definitely appreciate it. Dr. Turner, can you file female sexual arousal disorder, also known as FSADS, with PTSD, MST? It would be secondary to PTSD, MST. I've seen that. And they should grant you SMCK because that's considered loss of use of creative organ. I noticed men can file ED. Yep, you are correct. Would a Nexus letter be needed with the information in the service record? If it's in the service record, you could try just to go to a CMP exam, claim it that way, and see what the medical opinion is, and see how it falls. If not, then you can go back and get a DBQ and Nexus, but you need your VA claims folder if you're going to get that done at a private physician. Okay. Oh, there we go. Annette, you heard me. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Thank you, Annette. I knew she knew. She's on it. Okay, wait a minute. Here it is. Arthroplasty. That's what I was looking for. I knew it started with an A of that, but I knew you would know. I knew you would know. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So everybody, I definitely appreciate it. I'm sorry I went over 20 minutes. Okay. I'm trying to work on that, keep it to an hour. But I'm going to tell everybody, we still got 237 people in here. This is my passion. I'm a retired VA rater. It took me almost a year to write this book. And all the YouTube comments that I get, I'm like, okay, I just need to do a brain dump, educate people on the basics. If you want me to do a presentation for if you are part of a diversity inclusion council, let me know. Companies hire me, I come in and I do a presentation. I did the one last week. It's free. That's the first and only time I'm doing it. If you're part of an organization, university, community college, entrepreneurship program, veteran entrepreneurship program, you want a set of books, for your veterans, 20, 30, 40, 50 books, give me a call, 855-765-3137. I'll give you a code where you can order them offline and I'll ship them to you, sign each and every one. I'll give you a discount code, okay? If you buy in bulk like that. If you want me to come and speak, give me a call, 855-765-3137, extension 0. I can get you in contact with my booking agent. We can do a lunch and learn. If you want to do an hour, 2, 3, 4 hour presentation, I can customize it for you. Okay. But the 4 hour, the people that did it last week, they can tell you it's really good. Okay. So you definitely want to get in contact with me if there's something that you're looking for. Okay. If you want to, again, buy the book in bulk, let me know. You can go to Amazon and they'll ship them to you, but they're not signed. If you want them signed to give away to your veteran employees, or if you're part of an organization, if you're active duty, you're going through the tax program, say, hey, tax representative, or whoever's running that TAP program, why don't you all buying this book for us? We want to get this book because guess what? I got information in here for active duty service members, things that you could be doing right now before you exit the military. Okay? Get the book. Sign up for some of our, if we do some free training or other training. But again, I might re-record some of the sections of the presentation. They'll be out there for you once we get the landing page, probably the first of next month or sometime, for a small fee. Okay. Got another. Hey, thank you again, Keisha. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. All right. So, Dr. Turner, yep, I see you're going to purchase the book. After you read it, leave a review on Amazon. I got to answer the next question. Annette has been following me for well over a year. She's always in my Veterans Roundtable. She was in an event last week. Every time I have an event online, Annette Baker is there. Live stream, she's there every week. She always, always gives donation. Thank you for the support. So I must answer her question. Can you give your class online Zoom for organizations? Yes, I can. Yes, I've done it before. We just have to set up a time. Again, I'll have to get you connected with, and then you got my number. You got my email address. We can have that conversation. Call me and let's talk about it. Okay. And I could break it down for you. But anybody else, 855-765-3137, extension 0. Or that's the quickest way. If I'm don't pick up, leave me a voicemail, and I'll call you back and we'll get you squared away. Okay. So with that being said, everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Don't forget the book. Okay. Don't forget the book. If you already got it, if you want to buy it as a Christmas gift for another veteran, because we can't leave no veteran behind. Okay. Make sure you subscribe, like, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you and a good night.